Failure is the condiment that gives success its flavor. It may be normal, darling, but I'd rather be natural. Anyone who ever gave you confidence, you owe them a lot. I don't want to own anything until I find a place where me and things go together. Aprils have never meant much to me. Autumn seemed that season of beginning, spring. It's better to look at the sky than live there. Such an empty place, so vague. Just a country where the thunder goes. You can love somebody without it being like that. You keep them a stranger who's a friend. You can't give your heart to a wild thing. To me, the greatest pleasure of writing is not what it's about, but the music the words make. Never love a wild thing. If you let yourself love a wild thing, you'll end up looking at the sky. Everybody has to feel superior to somebody, she said. But it's customary to present a little proof before you take the privilege. Don't want to sleep, don't want to die, just want to go traveling through the pastures of the sky. Would you reach in the drawer there and give me my purse? A girl doesn't read this sort of thing without her lipstick. I loved her enough to forget myself, my self-pitying despairs, and be content that something she thought happy was going to happen. I'm very scared, Buster. Yes, at last. Because it could go on forever. Not knowing what's yours until you've thrown it away. Finishing a book is just like you took a child out in the backyard and shot it. It should take you about 4 seconds to walk from here to the door. I'll give you 2. As long as you live, there's always something waiting, and even if it's bad, and you know it's bad, what can you do? You can't stop living. Imagination, of course, can open any door, turn the key and let terror walk right in. There are certain shades of limelight that can wreck a girl's complexion. I am always drawn back to places where I have lived, the houses and their neighborhoods. I thought that Mr. Clutter was a very nice gentleman. I thought so right up to the moment that I cut his throat. The wind is us, it gathers and remembers all our voices, then sends them talking and telling through the leaves and the fields. There were hints of sunrise on the rim of the sky, yet it was still dark, and the traces of morning color were like goldfish swimming in ink. Have you never heard what the wise man say? All of the future exists in the past. Still, when all is said, somewhere one must belong, even the soaring falcon returns to its master's wrist. I've tried to believe, but I can't, and there's no use pretending. I'd rather have cancer than a dishonest heart. Which isn't being pious. Just practical. Cancer may cool you, but the other's sure to. We all, sometimes, leave each other there under the skies, and we never understand why. It's a scientific fact that if you stay in California you lose 1 point of your IQ every year. The problem with living outside the law is that you no longer have its protection. The enemy was anyone who was someone he wanted to be or who had anything he wanted to have. Be anything but a coward, a pretender, an emotional crook, a whore. I'd rather have cancer than a dishonest heart. He'd always been willing to confess his faults, for, by admitting them, it was as if he made them no longer exist. She is pure Alice in Wonderland, and her appearance and demeanor are a nicely judged mix of the Red Queen and a flamingo. I couldn't understand a sense of unease that multiplied until I could hear my heart beating. She was a triumph over ugliness, so often more beguiling than real beauty, if only because it contains paradox. Don't wanna sleep, don't wanna die, just wanna go a-travelin' through the pastures of the sky. One day she told the class, Nancy Clutter is always in a hurry, but she always has time. And that's one definition of a lady. Imagination, of course, can open any door, turn the key and let terror walk right in. He wants awfully to be inside staring out. Anybody with their nose pressed against a glass is liable to look stupid. Now listen to me, buddy. There is only one unpardonable sin, deliberate cruelty. All else can be forgiven. That, never.